The most recent developments on the Ukrainian front lines indicate that the tactical pause taken by the Russian and Allied forces has ended. The mass evacuations of civilians from the cities in the eastern and central regions of the country failed. Today, in many cities, evacuation is only possible after Russian troops take control, street by street. The main battles continue on the Donbas front lines. On March 14th, Russian forces advanced dozens of kilometers and reached the villages of Vodyadnoye, Sladkoye, Stepnoye, Karamchak, and Slavnoye. The UAF was forced to step back to the north towards Mariinka and Kurakovo. Russian troops reportedly entered the town of Gulie Pole, and clashes continue on the outskirts. Russian troops earlier came to the outskirts of Ugledar, but no offensive on the city was reported. The battles for the city are likely to begin soon. Targets in the town were hit with artillery and rockets. On March 13th, the LPR forces finally advanced on the northern outskirts of the town of Popasnaya after several days of fierce clashes in the area. They managed to secure almost the whole town, including the northern and southern outskirts. Clashes continue on the western outskirts. Control over Popasnaya is an important tactical gain. It is aimed at cutting off the cities of Severodonetsk and Lysychansk from the southern direction. At the same time, the grouping of LPR forces near Severodonetsk blocked the city from the eastern and southern directions. Fighting continues on the northeastern outskirts of the city. The main battlefield is the village of Rurezhnoye. The UAF deployed in Severodonetsk and Lysychansk risk being cut off, and the cities may be blockaded in the coming days. Russian and DPR forces are actively expanding their zone of control on the southern Donbas front lines. They left no chance to the Ukrainian nationalist fighters blockaded in Mariupol. The city was blockaded more than a week ago. Ukrainian fighters are already suffering from the lack of supplies. They have to rob civilians, often killing those who don't agree with their actions. The mop-up operations in Mariupol continue. Russian and LPR forces are coming closer to the city center. On March 13th, the joint forces of the Russian Federation, the DPR, and the LPR have almost blockaded the entire Ordzhikidze district in the city. Civilians are trying to escape from the city. A lot of them are either shot by nationalists or blow up on mines that were planted by Ukrainian soldiers on the roads leading to the city. At the same time, the situation on the front lines around the city of Donetsk remains stable. Offensive operations of DPR forces in the areas of Marinka, Pisky, and Avdiivka were reported. However, no advance has been confirmed so far. The joint Russian and DPR forces are likely not attempting to push the UAF away from the city outskirts, but rather plan to first surround and then destroy them. Russian forces were also slowed down in the town of Izium. Clashes have continued in the southern districts of the town for several days in a row. The Russian army is crossing the Seversky Donetsk River west of Izium, and fierce fighting continues. A civilian column moving from Izium on March 13th was reportedly shelled by the UAF. Casualties were reported. The Russian aerospace forces continue pounding UAF military facilities all over Ukraine, including in the Donbas region. Most recently, various targets were destroyed in Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Ugledar, and Avdiivka. In response, the UAF continues shelling the residential areas in the city of Donetsk and nearby areas. Another pinpoint strike hit the Lviv region in western Ukraine. The Russian precision-guided munitions destroyed the Yavorosky military training ground of the armed forces of Ukraine in the village of Starichi. Foreign volunteers who came to fight for Ukraine were stationed there. For some of them, the war in Ukraine ended before it had begun. So far, 180 foreign militants were reportedly killed in Ukraine. Russia has clearly demonstrated that foreign forces in Ukraine, including from the NATO member countries, are yet another target for their missiles, and Moscow will not tolerate their willingness to fight for democratic values on Ukrainian soil.